stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you.
Welcome to the women's final Belgian National Championships. I'm Stefan Rapazo alongside Iris Raymakers. And it's Moon 1 versus Moon 2. This looks like it could start with a Moon 1 break. Is that right? It has happened, Iris.
Yeah, the up with the score here. What an unexpected matchup, Moon Cup 1 against Moon Cup 2. I think this is one for the history books of our Mooncatchers Club. And I'm excited to be here alongside you to share it with everyone.
Share the action. We got a nice celebration already that we see late. And so, I mean, first team against the second team, you got to think that there's a major, major advantage going to this first team. But the second team have been, they were probably supposed to lose, I've got
The
quotation
underdogs.
marks, to lose the quarter, supposed to lose the semi. And, hey, they just keep winning. So, their chances against their big sister club are probably pretty slim. But let's see what they can do. Right now, if they just keep winning, let's see if they can pull off one more upset.
Yeah, I think Moon Cup 2 with all the potential, maybe a bit less experience, and we'll see if that helps. Moon Cup 1 to win this game, Ophélie Galivet throwing the pool, who's apparently into Sextons. But there is a violation because there was a bit of hesitation whether the pool was in or not, but there we go with Obermeier to Morar Anouk, who throws it to Meldermans, who catches that disc with quite some pressure from Diop, but that was Laura's disc. She's looking back to Morar, who will swing it all the way across to Chloé Turlanx with the disc and a high flick, but a bit too low, too bladey.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that whole possession looked pretty good up until that last throw, but they were able to get separation, and they were hitting the spots, but now the other way quick.
Perrine de Hasp with a big throw to Schlitzer, who's in front of the end zone, looking to Galivet. Will they finish a point, the two of them? Doesn't look like it. She goes back to de Hasp, who threw that deep throw, and she goes for the assist to Maria Belper into the end zone.
A big opening. Gavillet had it in front of the end zone. And I liked that she took her time there and didn't force it in. That's a situation where you really could force one in, but to take your time, wait for the troops to come. Belper got upfield, and a show of poise, patience, maturity. Love to see it. This Moon Cup team, I think they were like a surprise last year on the European scene to make the final, to knock out Jinx in the semi, in Ostend, when it was the most horrible weather of all time. That game, I think, was, a lot of people, they won in crazy weather, but they just keep staying good. They made the final again at Elite Invite, and they're putting so much into their program, as you will know, and you'll tell us more. But it's very impressive to see that it was the men's team that put Moon kind of on the map, And then it was like, oh, they've got a women's team. It's like, well, okay, no, this women's team is about to start winning some major tournaments here. And well, they've already won this tournament one way or the other.
Exactly, as we see Therian going to Hamburgen. They're able to connect. It's a bit of a further throw, but nice way to gain some yards as Morer grabs that disc back to the Smet. Who just miscommunicated with Obermeier. We see some of the younger players throwing some bigger throws that they have not done in the games before.
Yeah, you're right. I was just going to say the same thing. That's a show of nerves here. They know they're playing against the big sister. They know it's, bigger crowd on the sideline. These are maybe the things that they're not used to, which is great to get this experience. But those throws were hitting. They were not missing those earlier in the day.
Exactly. We see Lucia with the disc to Lefebvre, who hucks it to De Koning, who has a great read and keeps that disc, and hucks it then to Letter, who went deep and catches that in. You can see that Moon Cup is just very calm, playing the game. I think it's a really hard final to play when you have to play against either way, like the second team or the first team. I don't like playing against my own club. Don't know how that's
it's
for
tough.
you.
You really wouldn't want to crush your kid sister club either, but you just got to play your best, and that's really what it comes down to. I mean, I think if the Moon 2 do get crushed, well then all right, that's the wake up call they need. The mistake that gave the turnover, I thought, was uncharacteristic, and I think that is a show of nerves. Coming back the other way, Moon 2 have got to be doing a better job of transition defense. That was way too easy. No matter how good they are, no matter what, they've got to be able to say, okay, yeah, we turned it over. Pick our heads up. Let's play defense. Let's find our assignments. They made that way too easy.
And it's going to be a very tough mental challenge for those players who have been playing each other every week at practice and know what the other is capable of, to still believe that you can get that block, you can sky that person that you've never, or maybe almost never skied before. You know the strengths, and it's not easy to put that aside when you're playing each other. But there goes Hamburgen to Sexton. She's looking, connecting to Therian. Therian looking for Obermeier maybe, or Hamburger, and I wasn't sure. I didn't get to quite see it, but maybe not enough on that disc, and it goes back to Moon 1. There we have the Hasp, who got the disc from Belper, throwing a nice flick to the other side of the field to Maxen. Maxen with the disc, giving it just back to the Hasp. The Hasp finding Schlüter. And there she goes, a nice flick into the end zone for Sarah Rahali. Some confusion if whether it was up or down. Let's see. I don't think. You can see the teams come from the same club as the way they are discussing those kind of moments. Let's see Sarah going low for that disc.
Oh yeah, she kept it up. Rah. That's what I want to call Sarah Rahali. Rah. Just, it sounds right. But great play. Sarah Rahali, a player that has just been consistently getting better over the last at least 3 years. I remember certainly during EUC playing for the Belgian mixed team, she had a frustrated campaign, we'll say, and was not the happiest in the world about how it went, and has since been putting in a lot of work and has just been getting better and better, playing more and more Ultimate, whether on the proper European scene or playing Beach Ultimate and playing with better and better teams and getting great experience, and it's paying dividends. She's certainly playing better Ultimate.
Yeah, I think that's also what's so beautiful playing together for as many years, is you can really see everyone growing up and growing better in this sport. Schlüter's ready to give the pull. And there's the fifth offense for Moon Cup 2.
I like the chase onto the pole. No
Yeah.
messing around.
That was great energy coming from the white team, but it looks like a pick has been called. Looks like they're not agreeing. Looks like in the end, Lisa Lator will catch up to Maurer, who has a disc. Maurer connects to L'Enfant. L'Enfant looking at this mat but doesn't connect and goes for number 40, Walton. But another, maybe too big of a try.
Yeah, Moon Cup 2 just can't put a whole point together. They look good for moments of their possession. Of course, that's the nature of this game. You got to walk them the whole way in. You got to find that end zone. I'd like to see them test the deep at, next time they get it at this stage, or at least to have the deep cuts available and see if that can help them, as Moon 1 are doing.
As Kusi throws it to Diop, we have a defense from Mildermans. I love their matchup just before. Laura had caught on a disc with quite some pressure from Diop, and now she's putting on a defense. I love to see it.
Yeah, I think Kuzi could have holstered that one, kept it in. Diop did a good job, but it was too tight of a defense.
I like that throw from Obermeier connecting to Maurer to Muldermans again. Back to Maurer, who finds Sexton. They're now halfway. We go back to Walton, who goes to L'Enfant. And there goes a flick. You wanted to see the deep, and there he comes.
Boom.
Point for Kirsten de Smet.
Touchdown, and love seeing it. I love to see the deep shake out like that. It's a great throw. L'Enfant, I said it in the last game, she's impressing me. She's I've not heard that name before. The child, as it loosely would translate, except it's all one word.
She's actually also French, and I believe she has played with Awa Diop, who also came from Dijon,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Les Disjonctis.
Les Disjonctés.
Ouais,
Yeah.
les Disjonctés.
And so she has also, L'Enfant has also been playing with us at EUCF last year. And I believe she's a player that sometimes can be a bit timid on the field, but once you give her responsibility or she starts taking it when the rest of the players are a bit in difficulty, she will always rise up to the level, and she's so consistent. It's really amazing to play with her. She'll always get free if you need her. I really like playing indoors with her as well this year. We won the Belgian Indoor Women's Championship together.
Wonderful praise.
And there goes Hamburgen with the first pool for Moon Cup 2, if I'm not mistaken. And Belper is ready to bring that into play
She
from the
doesn't want to
sideline.
break. Just boom, let's play.
Let's just play. Galivet, good grab on the sideline. Looking back to Rahali. Good flow from Moon Cup. As they advance along the sideline, some quick passes, and Maya just hawking it to the end zone. And Lucia Sticks just saw the disc right on time, a bit before the defense, and scored.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one. That's good body control. Good way to not have dangerous play, but because the two of them were converging, I think if just one of them went to make that, they could have made a play and taken it away defensively. Because they both converged in front, they both said, hey, let's stop and not hit anybody, which is smart and safe. I know some players would be a bit more reckless with that. But, yeah, a bit of a shame that they couldn't make a play when they were both so close to position.
It was both defenders getting in their own way. And of course, you know the player, you don't want to hit them, you have to stop.
Yeah. A shame. You know what else would be a shame is if you weren't signed up for the Free Spec Summer Hat Tournament. Viva Las Vegas themed, July 26th and 27th. They were great this weekend, the Free Spec Speckies. And they're having a tournament. So if you're anywhere near Belgium and you're around that time, make sure you go check it out. Free Spec Summer Hat.
There goes another offense for the White Moon Cup team. Sexton finding Homburgen. Back to Sexton, who throws it to Homburgen. To Therian. Just the handlers swinging to each other in that handler space, but going back a few yards.
Now we're stagnant upfield here. It's really one cut at a time, and they're only cutting under.
There goes Obermeier with the disc, and that's an opportunity to go deep because she can hawk it. And there goes Homburgen with a great read. Seemed like an easy catch for her. As the rest of the team is trying to catch up, we have Turlings helping her out with the disc, giving it back to Therian.
Obermeier's open again.
There she finally sees it, and Obermeier is looking in front of her for some options, but have to connect with Sexton. Sexton not even looking anymore. She's so used to those connections, she just gives the disc almost blindly and goes. Homburgen has a disc again on the side. They have to get out of there and find a way as Sexton goes up the line, something that she's been doing so well this whole day. She's stuck on that corner though now. Back to Homburgen, back to Sexton, just exchanging some passes. Obermeier will get the disc, and maybe an inventive throw will be the solution, and sadly this was a bit too hasty.
Oh, they were looking so good, and now De Hasp is so wide open. And this is a bit of a tale of what happened on that last point. They worked so hard, and as soon as they weren't able to score, it went back the other way in, 7 seconds down the other way. So Moon won, teaching lessons in transition defense here.
Yeah, you can see the deception in Moon Cup's 2 reaction on the turn. Not being there on defense to follow up and try to get that disc back, knowing what the other team is capable of, but I believe not that they don't believe enough in what they are still capable of. They're waiting on each other to get on that line, but Moon Cup 1 is ready to throw that pole. We've also got quite some 2 injuries on the second team, which doesn't help them out as they were already a shorter roster. We've got Bombard with a hurtful knee, and it looks like Rillard also hurt her hand. So some losses for the second team for sure.
That's going to hurt when they're already going to need their absolute best to compete with the big sister, I keep calling them, but makes sense to me. Big sister club. It's the team that you want to make. It's where you want to be.
I hear the sideline getting a bit louder to cheer the offense on, and I hope it will help. There goes Morer Anouk with another one-handed catch, but it's safe and goes to L'Enfant, who goes to Sexton, back to Morer. A lot of quick little passes trying to get to the other side of the field. And we'll see if they'll be able to connect to the stack. L'Enfant doing a great job here working across that zone. They're getting dynamic. Perhaps it's going to be a handler points. And there we see again those same 4 players.
Now I like these 4 players working together, but there is nobody stretching behind. Like the zone is compressing so hard because nobody's stretching.
It's something you quite see often in beginner or maybe less experienced teams against the zone, and there we see a great throw by Morer, and Emma says, "That's it. That's a score for us."
Great score for
Emma Sexton.
Emma Sexton and Moon 2.
Yeah,
Sexton's been the best player on Moon Cup 2 for me, as far as I've seen them play. She was awesome in both games that we saw, and so far, best, certainly on that team in this game. Maybe the best on the field, really. Like, in a losing cause here so far, they're down 6-2. As we get a look in, there's the bar.
There's the boss.
The boss,
like we
Ina
like to call
Lankrit.
her. Shout outs to everything she's doing and everything she's done and she will still do for Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah.
Bringing the under 24s in Logroño together with Valerio and Dan.
Beating Team USA World Games with the Tokai Super Team, winning windmill. She does everything. And I know that she's going to be featuring on Pod Practice podcast very soon as well. So you get to hear a bit more about the Ine Lankrit story, which is a great story. She does so much.
Ine, who was also the first coach, or actually we're very emotionally attached to her as Moon Cup, as she coached us for her first EUCF.
Yeah. And she is a multi-time Belgian national title winner, but a two-time Open champion in Belgian Ultimate as well. And she's one of the very few, or maybe the only, who has a mixed women's and Open title in Belgium, and she has multiple of each.
Yeah, you're talking about a generation I was not part of. I'm too young to know that history, but I know there's some stars here who have been playing with the Open side. I know Perrine de Asp also played with the Open team in her younger years.
Yeah, it was all that much more common for top female players to play in the Open division for sure. Now it seems to happen way less. I mean, Levka Volchak this year is playing for Hardfish in the Open division.
And wasn't there an under 24 woman with the Netherlands?
Yeah, there was Anna Minad who played for the Netherlands in 2022 at Nottingham. You're absolutely right. So it's way less frequent, but it happens. But as much as I know that generation, I only learned that last night. Ina told me that she's like.
You got the secrets out of her.
Yes. Well, we were looking at the history list of the Open champions, and it had been a long time ago, 2014, the last time Gentle won, and she's like, I was on that team.
Maybe that's what they're missing all these years.
Yes.
We'll see. I'm really excited to also see the Open final just after this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Mooncatcher's game to win. They've got the advantage. They've won it since 2017. They've done better. The European champions, but like on home turf, Gentle playing in their own backyard. They're a very good, very polished team. If they play their best game, why not, right? There's no reason they can't take it away.
And they're tired of losing against Moon in the final.
Yeah, exactly. You love, these two teams like this will play each other tougher at a Belgian Nationals than maybe they would at a European Championship game. That said, they had a Universe Point game at Elite Invite. So, and Gentle beat them earlier this year already. So, hey, let's hope we're going to get a good game there.
For sure it's going to be. I like the deeper play coming from Moon Cup 2, but sadly was not. It was a good read that was missing to catch that in for a score. And now, after the turn, we've got Lucia now with the disc. Who throws it to Lefebvre, and Lefebvre just didn't keep that alive.
We're going to get a goal here. Moon 2 scoring. It's going to happen. I feel it. Sexton, she's going to blast one.
There goes Sexton, and you were right, but it was just too low. Maxon ready to pick that disc up to another low pass. ending up almost on the same little patch of ground. Obermeier in front of the end zone. You just need one player with one good cut and one good throw. But that was a bit too forced and didn't work out again. This time it's Belper who's gonna bring that disc back into play. Lefebvre cutting into the middle, doesn't get the disc. De Hasp coming in closer in the open side. The easier throw gets given as Belper goes up line and throws it deep, but that one will never come back into
Heads
the
up.
field.
Sideline, got to keep their heads in the game.
Yeah, we can see now also a dangerous moment maybe for Moon One, as feels like they're not as focused as they were.
Yeah, and you see the sideline filling up here. There's a lot of people around watching. Staying in the shade now. They get a little bit more shade on this side of the field.
Looks like the disc never came back in, so will be brought up all the way from where the thrower threw it outside. Lefebvre ready to put on her mark. There goes Hamburgen with the disc. Maurer starting to cut, dancing a bit, going away. Hamburgen dumps it to Sexton. Gives it to Obermeier. Bit of a high disc. No discussion about the fumble. Latter picking it up, giving it back to De Hasp. De Hasp giving it to Lefebvre, who's all alone on the sideline and puts a beautiful sidearm into the end zone for Lucia Palos to catch it effortlessly for a score.
Yeah, love the throw by Lefebvre. Tough turnover for Moon 2 before Obermeier put the backhand over top, but this throw,
It's lovely.
beautiful.
I haven't seen her use it that much. I want to see more of those now that I've seen what she's capable of.
We're going to take a short break here. We'll be back with the tail end of this one. It's halftime, Moon Cup 8, Moon Cup 2. I worked for a Michelin star chef making gelato in Paris. I had my own restaurant in Nicaragua and a food truck in Australia. Why wouldn't you watch me? Check out my YouTube channel.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
It is 8-2, Moon Cup 1 over Moon Cup 2. I just drank a wasp, and it didn't sting my tongue, so I'm happy about that. But there are wasps jumping into our pop cans around here. That was something I've never done in my whole life.
One of my biggest fears as well. But we're out of danger now, I hope, Steph. And Moon Cup gets the offense, Moon Cup 1, because they start in defense. And finding Schlüter in the middle, she's looking in front, but will find Galivet, who goes for the upline instead of the dump. A great way to make yards. And another Blake, a bit more bladey, into the Hasp's hands. The Hasp were really known for scoring all those points on the European scene.
Yeah.
But maybe one of her first goal in this game.
Yeah, great chase down. Gavilet throws beautiful, but I love the Haspers attacking it, taking it high, taking it fast, bearing down onto the disc. Like Like a wasp bears down into a can of iced tea.
If you hear a stutter, we're just fighting off the wasps. Sorry for the incomprehensions sometimes.
Yep. We're taking care of it. The elements are acting up on us.
Let's see if this second half is going to be a bit more on Moon Cup 2's side. It was a clean offense from Moon Cup 1. Something that you would see on the European scene as well. And now we'll see if Moon Cup 1 will be doing a defense or if Moon Cup 2 is going to be able to believe in themselves and score this one. You can see from the body language, the girls trying to hype themselves up nonetheless. There you see Therian picking up the disc. It's a bit shorter pull to Hombergen with a great catch. Attacking that disc, giving it to Meldermans. Again, a great catch. We'll give it to Turlangs, but it's too far to be grabbed. And Maxen picks up the disc, smiling to Lefebvre. As she sees Palos is looking in front. But will Rahali be her solution? She will. Immediately to Maxen, goes up line, great. Taking advantage, and we are very lucky that the Hasp is so reactive as she catches that disc.
Yeah, I didn't even see. It happened faster than my eyes could see. I believe it's going to be 10-2, but they're still discussing it. Here it
Looks
is
like
again.
it's a score.
Ra just zips it through the middle.
I'm not sure if it's like a travel that they called or a pick or...
I think I saw Walton show some pick hand signals, but they were, I'm not even sure, because if it was a pick hand signal, it was like an uncertain halfway up arms.
Yes, Walton also started this year, I believe. It's not always, it can be very scary to make your first calls on a frisbee field, and especially against your first team.
Especially on stream when people will scrutinize your foul calling. Me, never. I would never scrutinize anybody's foul calling. Except always. (10-2). Moon 1 over Moon 2.
Looks like the coach is taking even more time now to try and move his troops.
He's abandoned Moon 1.
Yeah, but he's hiding under his cap.
Brice Vanet, the coach, putting in all efforts to Moon Cup this year.
Let's see if they're able to close that gap now. We've got Schluter with the pull. Almost 30 minutes left. We're halfway into this game, time-wise, but let's see if point-wise we'll be able to catch up. There goes Therian with the disc. Faking it back to Sexton. Yes, L'Enfant coming with a good cut to help out her teammates as Moror Anouk gives a solution back to Sexton on that line where she likes to be. Obermeyer getting the disc, wanting to swing, but there's no option there, so goes the other way to L'Enfant. L'Enfant to Moror Anouk, to Sexton, refusing that deep option. There she gets the disc again. She's looking, not really finding anything up front anymore as L'Enfant fakes to Therian. Back to Sexton. Moror just a bit too late, and that's a very bladey throw again. to Obermeier. You can see the disappointment from the body language. But they'll need to keep giving and keep believing if they want to get this game back.
Yeah, playing defense. At least that is a point of improvement. They're going to get their opportunities to play defense here. They're going to start on O, but if they turn it over, they got to play D2, but not on that. Ooh! A lucky turnover to give them a chance back.
A little gift to the teammates on the other side from Diop. Sexton picked it back up. She's gonna go for a big flick. 2 players under that disc, but Morar doesn't even jump. She just keeps position and grabs that disc. There goes Sexton. Back again in that same spot. Will she go for the same flick? She dumps and goes, but doesn't get it again. Looks like the cutters are finding it a bit harder to free themselves. There goes Mora, back to Therian, to Sexton. Back to Therian. They have a deep option, but they went a bit too early, and then having those legs to come back under hard looks like that's missing a bit now in this game.
A deep option that was deep, but not moving deep, quite static deep.
That's because she went too early and you saw the last part of it. But there goes another little gift. Putting Moon Cup 2 in the exact same position as they did 20 seconds ago. Obermeier picking it up, throwing it to Sexton. Points where she wants it. There goes a disc, and this one is wobbled. But
Off the
catch.
head even. That definitely bounced off the noggin.
Yeah, De Smet really keeping that one for the team. She's been doing great as well. Also one of our very new players. There goes Morar. And a bit too far, but Sexton said, that's mine now. And she grabbed that, looking at L'Enfant that didn't free herself up yet. A little over the head to Therian. That always seems to work. There goes this to Sexton again. Goes to Therian, who's given the space on the sideline, a little flick to De Smet and a great catch again. I love to see those very young players always keeping those discs very tight into their hands, or where you can see some drops from more experienced players. You've never seen any from them, so something they can be very proud of.
Now both teams getting hasty out here. The Moon 1 are working hard on defense, but then stand and deliver, just picking up and firing on their opportunities. And they're giving some opportunities away as this point turns into a long one.
And it felt like a long one 2 turns ago, so let's see how much legs they have left as Sexton has a disc and gives it back to Therian. Therian denying De Smet, but we'll give it to L'Enfant. L'Enfant who still has the legs and is looking really good for how long this game has been going. There she goes again. Will she be able to connect to someone? There goes to Morar, who has a great grab above Lisa Latour, putting all of her body that she had in position to
I
get
understand Sexton's body language there. Like, there was perfect position. Nobody was going deep. Nobody.
I think that's hard when you play with some less experienced player and you're a more experienced one. You have to take the patience and understand that you will not always get what you see and that will not always come true. But you're a blessing to the team, and it's hard to not let frustration happen in these cases. But there we see a big throw, and it's catched by Maeva Koussi, who goes back to Latour. Gives it to Max, and you can hear the Moon Cup 1 sideline getting enthusiastic for them to finish up this point, but a little collision there. What do you think of it, Steph?
Well, Obermeier got the disc first, for sure. She also had vision that Kuzi was coming, and I don't think Kuzi had that same vision. So it's potentially dangerous play. Potentially, I think if I'm Kuzi, I'm making that same foul call. I think if I'm Obermeyer, I'm really thinking about contesting. Like it's a gray area there. Kuzi taking the high road there and saying, yeah, I'm fine with it. I like that result. I like that outcome.
There goes Sexton to Maurer. Back to L'Enfant. They're now on the other half of the field, closer to their end zone. Back to Terrien. To our number 21 Willard, who throws it to Maurer. Bit of hesitation, what do we do now? But Sexton goes back and gets the disc to Terrien. Terrien to Maurer. A high disc, but no problem. And there goes a great grab for Kirsten de Smet.
Well, super long point, but at least it ended up with the right team scoring. Moon 2 fighting hard to not give up the score. Moon 1 just kept shooting recklessly a little bit to send it back down. So it's nice to see Moon 2 just staying in it, fighting, and a beautiful break throw backhand to open the door and find their way in.
Yeah, I'm very happy for them to be able to finish up that point, and I hope that it will give them just what they need now to continue this game.
Now, if I'm correct, this game is 75 minutes because we're in the final now. So it's a game to 15 or 75 minutes. So still lots of time to play in this one.
Yeah, both teams have quite some things to readjust.
And
it is not an easy game to play Moon Cup 1 against Moon Cup 2. Same club, different teams, but everyone's friends, but everyone wants to win.
Nobody's friends for the next 40 minutes, let's say. We're going to take a break and come back for the tail end of this final.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
I worked for a Michelin star chef making gelato in Paris. I had my own restaurant in Nicaragua and a food truck in Australia. Why wouldn't you watch me? Check out my YouTube channel. 10-3, Moon Cup 1 over Moon Cup 2. Belgium National Championship Final, Women's Division. We're in Ghent at Blaarmeersen.
Almost the right way
Blaarmeersen.
to say it. Blaarmeersen.
Blaarmeersen. I'm Stefan Rapazzo with Iris Remakers. We're having a wonderful time here at this final. We've just agreed that there's no friends out there.
All enemies. They all hate each other, and they want to take that disc away as soon as they can. There goes Belper with the disc in the middle of the field. To Galivet on the side. Back to Belper. Doing a great follow-up of her disc, and there goes Lefebvre on the line, and they just keep advancing that way until they found Lucia Palos for another score.
Bing, bing, bing. Quick and easy for Moon 1 this time. Big gainer to Lefebvre, and then the rest is easy all alone for Paulos Luzon. Where's Paulos Luzon from, do you know?
She comes straight from Zaragoza in Spain,
Okay.
and she found a job here in Brussels, and she used to play a bit of ultimate frisbee with her boyfriend back, shout out to Juan, And she never thought, she came to practice because Juan was more of he knew a bit more of frisbee than she did, and she thought, yeah, I'll just try. And then she just is insanely, I think, talented, and she's quite fast. And wait for her on the European scene as well. She'll be
Okay.
scoring some points for sure.
Well, she looked quick there, was very clear into the end zone.
She's got great hands as well, be making some really nice grabs for Moon Cup this whole season. And still so young as a player, like I don't know how many years she has, but I'm just getting the information. No, I'm getting her age, but I meant how many playing years. I was told 25, and no, she's only been playing for 2. So there we go, that makes more sense.
25 years of playing experience in 25 years of age is impressive.
There goes
From the
Sexton.
womb player.
And to Hamburgen. There goes Sexton again. Laura cutting into the open side and the break side and changing directions, but not able to get free. There goes Obermeier with a good catch onto that disc. She gives it back to Sexton. Hamburgen also telling her team, go deep, give us some options in front. There goes Sexton, traveling, but she knows it and she goes back. There goes Hamburgen again, asking what's happening to the team. And that's a really good grab for Sexton. I'm losing my words here.
Sexton got the disc there, but also picked up the poach. There was somebody free after that because she had 2 defenders, but they couldn't find it.
There she is again in the middle of the field, trying to find a solution before she moves absolutely to every single open space she can find and throws it to Meldemans for an amazing solution and a score at the same time.
11-4. Sexton doing absolutely everything. Throwing open teammates is at the top of that list of doing everything. Look at this throw. No, nothing here. No, nothing there. All right, let me just backhand it to the one opening at the back of the end zone and make a perfect throw.
Yeah, it was really perfect. The cutter was already on that side and she saw it and just put it into that space, so giving the advantage and the incentive for the cutter to go and make that score. Really leading this team, as she should.
Taking the reins. A lopsided final.
And we
where
can see
the top team is really sticking it to it. What are we seeing out there?
We're seeing that Willard has come back into play, even though she had hurt herself, because if she didn't, that would have been only 2 substitutes for Moon Cup 2. So she's really doing it for the team. And Bombard still helping out with the water, heavily needed in these conditions. And there goes the pull to Schluter, who gives it to Belper in the middle of the field. To De Asp, to Belper. They're advancing. They've got good flow. Everybody's running to the front, and there goes Galivet coming back. She's looking in front, but dumps it to Maxon. To De Asp. Meldemans close to the defense, but it goes to Maxon. Cousy bobbles and still catches, gaining a few yards in the process, and there goes the Haas for the score.
Tactical move by Cousy. Fake drop to get more meters. No, but why not? Worked out just fine for them. Here it is again, but already De Hasp didn't even stop cutting when there was the thought of turnover. Just kept cutting. Maybe there's a chance, and if there is, I'm going to be wide open. Perrine De Hasp, I'd say an underrated player on the European scene. She's a leader on this Moon Cup team. Is she still the captain?
Yes, we have multiple captains, but I do believe that she's still one of them. She
Okay.
gives the best pre-game speeches
Okay.
and mid-game and end-game. I've never seen or liked someone talk as well as she does to the team. Apart from being an amazing player as well.
Yeah, and that's the part that's underrated. Besides the fact that she's a leader, she's just always there, always doing the hard yards, as reliable as can be, can do the sensational, but doesn't really require it that often. But when called upon, she's there for the bids, she's there for the hucks, but really just as safe as can be, and
Yeah.
that should be something that she's recognized for more frequently.
The more you watch her play, the more respect you gain for her and how impressive her playing is. She's got so good, she started playing soccer during the off season. But there we are, 12-4 for Moon Cup 1 against Moon Cup 2, as I have a wasp on my... All good, as the pull has gone out of the field and Belper picks it up, gives it to Sexton. As Sexton throws it immediately to Maurer. A great way to get some yards. Obermeier laying out, but just too little. It was such a close grab. I saw that disc almost touching her fingers. Great bid trying to get that disc alive.
Hits hard and takes an injury sub for it.
Yeah, she's been also forcing herself to play through quite some knee pain. And falling back onto that mustn't be easy. As we see Walton getting into the defender's position. Rahali going around her, nevertheless giving it and getting it back. De Koning with the disc gives it to the Hasp, following her disc, going back. We'll get it again as Letter opens up the right side, faking the Hasp, but giving it to Lefebvre, who's all alone. Gets that flick on the right side to Rahali, who wants to finish it but doesn't get the option she needs. There goes the Hasp, free again and effortlessly putting that flick in front. Everybody's clogging, everybody wants to finish in that little corner, but Rahali says no, let's go back, let's open up that end zone.
Just as she did, Lothaire opened up.
And that's a great catch by Lucia Palos, which I just told you about with our 25 of experience.
25 years of experience. Rara with the break around there for the assist. A brilliant throw. I do really like this. I thought she had Lothaire in the corner, but nice lean into that backhand. Little bit of a shape, but mostly flat.
Yeah, I think she sees the option and just throws it as quickly as she can. And that means that the throw is not always perfect, but she can rely on her teammates to always bring that in for a score.
So at 13-4, 53 minutes into this, a game that would go to 75 if needed. We get the sense that Moon Cup 1 have the ability to and may just close this one out in the coming moments. Of course, the final game of the day of the championship will be the Open Final. So make sure you're staying around and locked in for that. Moon Catchers against Gentle Open coming
There you
up
got
after this one.
Sexton throwing it a bit too far. It's quite uncharacteristic for her. I haven't seen that many mistakes all day. But the mental toll this kind of matchup in the final gives is not to be mistaken. And there goes Schlüter with the disc, looking at Latour, but Not throwing that and going to Diop instead. Diop to Belper. Belper telling her teammate to clear so that she can get to Maxon. Get the disc back again. Kusi with a good cut, opening that side. She's all alone, getting those yards in to get in front of that end zone. Maxon upside into Diop, her specialty, catching it, sitting down.
And that will bring us to game point. Everybody loves a hammer. Let's see a hammer to score. Maxon. Bang.
Might be a dumb question, Steph, but what's the difference between an upside and a hammer?
Being French or being English? I think, an upside down throw, but the French call it an upside. But could that be a scuba or a hammer? Potentially. But in English, I don't think we talk about them like classified the same as inverted throws or upside down throws. Just a hammer or a scuba or a thumber or a blammer.
For a moment there, I thought those were two different things.
Upside down backhands. But
Which
no.
one's your favorite?
Oh, a hammer. Just straight hammers for days. Like the Hammer Brothers on the old Mario Brothers games. Turtles chucking hammers.
It's 14-4. It could be the last point to this game. Let's see what the offense says as Maurer catches that disc and gives it to Therian. The unguarded Therian goes to Sexton.
She's got to boost it.
There goes Therian. She's ready to score that point, but doesn't get that disc. Goes into the cutter space instead to come back. Maurer gets the disc. Looking at Sexton. The whole team knows that those three are the ones to stop in the handler space, but they still get every other pass.
It's so hard to stop, a Dominator said. So hard to stop people when you give them the under, when you give them a dump space. But it makes it easier to just keep them stuck with it when you really suffocate the upfield cuts, as Moon 1 have done there. With chance to win now. National championship on the line, Iris.
It is just a question who's going to get silver and who's going to get gold. And there goes another flick. We've seen quite some of those this game, and Walton was close, but Lefebvre knows what she's doing and catches that in. You can see bodies to the ground on the Moon Cup 2 side as they fought a really uneasy game to play for both teams.
Collapse in exhaustion.
But let's not forget how incredible it is that both these teams have made it into the final. To have both of your women's team as a club is you can be nothing but proud.
Yeah, gold and silver, taking home all of the most important colors of the trophy cabinet, or metal hardware, however you want to put it. But great showing. Moon Cup 2 were great all day long. I think they had a tough one. They didn't really show up for it, and they were outclassed by their elder statesmen, their more polished version of a team. But to know that those teams will combine a little bit, some of the best Moon 2 players will join them. They'll have some more of their external parts. They will be a force to be reckoned with when they hit the European scene.
And for sure, if you've just tuned in for the women's final, go look at some other of Moon Cup's 2 games that we have streamed for you guys just before this one. The semi was something impressive to see what they were capable of and what we had hoped to see. It was not their final this time, but there's other finals to play this season.
That is right. And with that, the showcase ceremonies, I believe, will all happen after. So with one game to go, we're going to get ourselves ready for one final. We'll make sure you have enough time to go fill your popcorn, get another cold drink, and get back in front of your screens for the grand finale, Mooncatchers taking on Gentle Open. And with that, for Noah Brinkworth on the ones and twos, for Iris Raymakers for joining, I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you all next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
Alti.tv